And so then that brings me to the adolescence, and that's dating relationships. If they start, treating their significant other in a certain way that's not necessarily normal, that might mean that they have been exposed to similar actions at home. And then trust. At this age, trust is very, 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 very important. So at this point, you, as a knowledgeable person on this subject, you would want to listen to children and provide them with respect and space. Let children know that you care about them, that you're there. And let children have an outlet as far as music, art, sports. Let them express themselves in their own opinions, thoughts, and ideas. And then also, if you are in a classroom or in a classroom situation, use books on the subject to help children open up. If I were to suspect someone in my classroom was, exposed to domestic violence, I might try to find a book that portrays that or shows that it's not necessarily okay, but that it does happen. It's not just happening to them. They're not the only people in the world. Also, another statistic that I found was that 3.3 million children are exposed to domestic violence each year. That's very, very, that's a lot, and that's very, very serious. So, with that said, I will go over some facts that I have found very interesting. These are all recent, probably 2002. I think the latest one I found was 2013. So, this one says that 3.3 million children are exposed to domestic violence each year. And that studies show that child abuse occurs in 30 to 60% of family violence cases that involve families with children. A survey of 6,000 American families found that 50% of men who assault their wives also abuse their children. That's very serious. And research shows that 80 to 90% of children living in homes where there are domestic violence, they are aware of the violence. The children are very smart. Children are a lot smarter than people let on. They do know what's going on. They are aware of actions, and we need to be aware that they are aware. A number one predictor of child abuse is woman abuse. And then the more severe the abuse of the mother, the worse the child abuse is. I don't know what that's based on. I have found several sites have said that. Some 80% of child fatalities within the family are attributable to father or father surrogates. In families where the mother is assaulted by the father, daughters are at risk of sexual abuse. 6.51 times greater than girls who are of non-abusive families. This one I found to be almost very true because I have went as I guess I would say a survivor of domestic abuse in my family. I've been to a lot of meetings. I've been to a lot of counseling to help myself as a normal functioning human being where I don't treat people the way that I was treated or that I saw my mom being treated. So this one says that a child's exposure to father abusing the mother is the strongest risk factor for transmitting violent behavior from one generation to the next. Unfortunately, I haven't ever treated anybody with physical violence, but I have two brothers, and their first marriages have unfortunately ended in that way. So, I mean, it is very generational if that's how you grew up and you think that that's normal. Like my brothers probably saw my dad do that to our mom, or our dad do that to our mom, that they think that might be something that is okay. When talking to them now and after the counseling that they have received, they know that that is not acceptable. It's not appropriate. So, like I said at the beginning, there is help for everyone, whether that be the victim, the child, or the actual abuser. People do care about the abuser more than I even thought. But I mean, that's where it starts. The abuser is where it starts. So then, let's see. In a 36-month study of 146 children ages 11 to 17 who came from homes where there was domestic violence, all sons over the age of 14 attempted to protect their mothers from attack, and some 62% were injured in the process. So that's kind of where it comes to talk about the abuse of a parent. It does sometimes involve child abuse as well. And I would like to think that that was because that child was trying to protect their mom or dad. So that's very, 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 very important. And also, what I did want to express too, I grew up in a pretty wealthy family, so I do know I was on some boards, some blogs, and some chat logs, and it really did hurt my feelings that people thought that domestic violence was only involved in like low-income families and poor families. Um, it was very sad actually how many people like, oh well, it's because they're poor and they have nothing else to fight about. That's not the case. It's not the case. So that was just something that was near and dear to my heart. And like I said, 33 million children are affected by domestic violence each year. It's a very, very, very serious issue if children are only exposed to fighting, exposed to bullying, exposed to low self-respect and low self-esteem. That is a majority. I found ranges from, 70% of children who are exposed to domestic violence end up like that, and with the depression and low self-esteem. But we also need to remember that children, yes, they are aware, but children are very, very, very resilient. So there are some people who, that happened to them, and they have some sort of issues, but they do want to get help. They want to be normal. They want to break that generational passing. So with that said, I just want to thank you for letting me be here. I kind of went way over and I rambled on a lot, but I really hope that I gave some really good information. And like I said, I was affected by this, so I kind of didn't really talk about all the things that I wanted to because I'm very emotional about it. But if anybody wants to talk after the presentation, I'm always here. Thank you so much.